Nice to meet you. I'm Erin Sky Kelly.
I'm Carrie Blakeney.
And we host the podcast called Get the Hell Out of Debt.
As soon as you say the word debt, I think you just scared people away. We're not scary, everybody. We're fun.
We discuss relationships and life, but mostly money, in order to help you get the hell out of debt. You're going to hear from us, you're going to hear from experts, but most importantly, you're going to hear from you, people just like you who've gotten completely debt-free or become financially free simply by following a very easy system.
Right here where you found this podcast, look for us, Get the Hell Out of Debt.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. During the season of Aquarius, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy, and each week we'll discuss one book from our book club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book, as well as discuss listener thoughts. This week, we're discussing As Many Souls as Stars by Natasha Siegel.
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language, as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. If you're enjoying the podcast, check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk.
Okay.
All right.
Do you ever get into this meditative trance while you're reading the intros and outros?
Absolutely.
and then you'll be talking while I'm just waiting for my turn, and I don't know. There's something about it where I'm just like, so we nap now? That's what we do naps. But we're not here to nap. We are here to discuss
As Many Souls as Stars.
Thank you. I'm be more in tuned with me.
I think there's a slight delay.
Is there?
You're very pixelated, so I'm going to guess yes.
Motherfucker, I have no other things open.
If Nicole has the TV
she's
streaming,
not home yet.
Oh.
There's no one here.
It's fine. It's not like a 3-second delay.
Okay. Then know my intentions. Okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. So, something kind of interesting with this book that we've never done before with any other book club or interview is the fact that we are book clubbing a book that we did for an interview with Natasha Siegel herself.
And if you haven't listened to that interview, I highly recommend going back and listening to it. If you haven't read the book, I also highly recommend reading the book. And if you can't, read it because it feels a little slow, because we've heard that, give it a listen on Spotify or on Audible or your Libby app.
Like how you're preemptively getting in front of we'll get to the comments later. But before we get into full discussion, hands up, tits up. All of this because you started it one time.
I know, one time.
Never have a good idea for the rest of your life if you can help it.
Sapphic, Gothic, romance that stole my heart and is beautiful.
Faustian, bargain, inspired, lesbian, romance, acquired, never going to get tired.
Oh, look at that. Popping out the rhymes.
Hey, add another layer to this. Does it entirely make sense? Not really, but you know what? The vibes.
I get it.
The vibes. I tried to make the vibes as immaculate as this book because the book be vibing.
Oh my gosh, there's so many reasons why this was we had so many good books in 2025, but this was among my top 5 because everything about this book is beautiful.
So when we interviewed Natasha, she never listened to this episode. We're going to speak praises, but the reason why is because I hadn't finished her reading the book when we interviewed her. Amy had, and Amy gave me the download and she was like, here's everything. And not to point at anyone, but someone on this podcast did schedule a lot of interviews in like a 2-month time frame.
I did.
And then what? You didn't have to confess. No one here knew what it was. Who it could have been. But it was one of those where I'm like, I can't keep up with you.
You've done it to me in the past. It was payback.
Yeah. But this was one of those where I just I didn't have time to finish it, but I enjoyed what I started. And then Amy was like, let me tell you something. And then you gave me the full download. I really enjoyed it. And then after we talked to Natasha, and again, go listen to that interview because she is an incredible author. In my mind, we were sitting somewhere and I looked at you and I said, Amy, would you like to do this for book club? I don't know if that's true. I also stroke your face and say, it's okay. We can do book club.
You didn't stroke my face, but you did recommend we do it for book club.
You were so happy.
I was. I remember distinctly when I was telling you about this, you were like, is this a reincarnation trope?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, it is.
I love a reincarnation. I love it. I can't help who I am. And not only is it a reincarnation trope, it's a reincarnation trope times 2.
Times 2. It's historical. It's magical.
It's romantic.
It's lesbian.
Yeah.
It's romantic. Yeah.
I mean, it's romance in the sense that, like, are they in love with each other reluctantly? Kind of. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I think let's talk about the theme, love. Because it's questionable. There came a point when they're both like, well, I guess I'm in love with you. Although I do believe it more from the witch than I don't know, Esther. I don't know
Sybil.
which one. Sybil. I don't know which name to
Sybil,
start with.
Esther. What's the last one?
Begins with an R. Rosemary. It gives me time to drink. You look it up. This episode is not sponsored by Topo Chico, but if you want to sponsor us, fucking hits.
Sybil's the one that keeps getting named.
Rosamund?
Rosamund.
Rosamund. Yeah, I'm only going to stick to one of those names.
Okay, let's do Sybil.
Sybil. And then the demon's name is Miriam. Okay, Sybil and Miriam. We're sticking to those two. And we'll say Sybil part 1, part 2, or part 3. So I believed, I want to get into the topic of love and the theme of love. And I think that it was an interesting approach because, did they love each other? Is love not hate? Is hate not love? And I love that I don't think that it was meant to have an answer or meant for us to feel good about it.
Yeah. What I love about the story, because it's not just about love between Sybil and Miriam.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different types of relationships throughout Sybil's many lives.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that people do for love vary widely. For example, Sybil with her mother, giving her mandrake to, help her with her grief.
Yep.
Esther with her brother, loving him so much she doesn't want him to engage with her because she doesn't want to kill him. There's a lot of different types of love beyond Sybil and Miriam. Now, Sybil and Miriam, it has so many versions. And what I love about Sybil and Miriam's story, and this is true of many facets of them, just not just their love, they both start on opposite spectrums and then slowly meet in the middle and then slowly go to each other's opposite spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you were saying of there's different types of love. It's almost like the commentary on this is that to be human is to inevitably to love in any way, shape, or form. And with Sybil, like you said, it was her mom. And then even with her dad, like she wanted to love her dad. And then with Esther and her brother, like she were every get-go, right? And then Rosamund, so much for keeping different names, but at least I remembered them for now. And then with Rosamund, she loved her friend. You know what I mean? Like she had points of, I am not going to love anyone. No one's going to infiltrate my desire. But it's, yeah, like to be human is to inevitably to love. And it doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah. There's also Esther's cousin Thomas and his love for his dead wife, Lily, and the things he's willing to do for love.
Some might say a little too much.
A little too much. Notice
murder's fine. It's saving the body that's not okay.
Yeah. It's so gross.
I just want to make that known.
I love, to your point, though, how love is humanizing. And especially in Sybil, we see that the more effort she makes to not love, the more distant she is from her own humanity. While the more Miriam, as, you know, this shadow demon given form, learns what love is, she becomes more and more human. And I know we talked about it with Natasha, but it's really powerful. It's poetic. Everything about this book is poetry without being poetry.
Yeah. And I think if you're not into a poetic pacing or a poetic book, then yes, like, you know, we're spoiling some of the comments people said where they felt the pacing to be too slow. And I think part of that comes with how poetic this book is. And I think that not only the language and the descriptions, but, you know, poetic justice, the poetic poetry and the tragedy, right? Like that when you say everything about this is poetic, to the plot, to the characters, to the arcs, like everything quite literally is poetic. Even Esther's death is poetic. And it doesn't matter what avenue and part of this book, it was going to be poetic. And I applaud Natasha for that. I can also understand if that is not someone's vibe.
Right. I think for me personally, having read many books of this pacing, this similar pacing in high school, in college, it's very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
It's how I learned to read and dissect literature. So I find a lot of joy in it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. And maybe for people, it's like, ugh, it's reminiscent of my high school English class. I don't like it.
Do you have a specific book that it kind of reminded you of?
I mean, it's more palatable than Jane Eyre, but it has Jane Eyre vibes. It's not as historical, but there was a book I read in high school, one of my favorites, by an Australian author called Cloud Street. I'm trying to remember what his name, Tim something. Anyway, I cannot off the top of my head. It also feels like some of the early American literature that we had to read as part of our major in college. So I also had to analyze a lot of poetry for English. Like that's what one of my final exams was. And I had to do a 10-minute verbal recorded dissecting of a random poem that was put in front of me 15 minutes prior. It was recorded and sent to a moderator in the UK to grade.
I mean, talking out loud for 10 minutes, pulling things out of your ass. Shocking that you now have a podcast.
It's so true. I just put that together as well.
Let me guess, you aced it?
I did.
Just like you aced this podcast. Yeah, it really is classic. And it's funny because like we talked about Belladonna being classic and very literature driven. And I find this writing style to be more literature driven than Belladonna was. I think Belladonna was Gothic, but in a more palatable way. And
in a vibes way.
Yeah, in the vibes. But like, again, I do love all the As Many Souls as Stars. I always keep wanting to say is like The Fault in Our Stars, but I know that's not the book that we're talking about. I think there is something about it that words on a page, you're trying to read it and it might feel like just too much. And if it's not your vibe, it is so not going to be your vibe. If you can't get on board with this, and from Blood and Ash. You know, two different styles. We're going to have two different writing styles here.
Yeah. Why did you pick From Blood and Ash?
I'm trying to compare it to like, okay, I was trying to say like it's Gossip Girl versus, you know, I'm just trying to do like, not that either is bad, but like something that's like
Right.
fast and taking over. So like right now there's like the thing about like kids, like little kids in media, and it's like fast paced cartoons versus slower paced cartoons that we grew up with, like Little Bear. So that's what I'm trying to compare it to, as like,
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. You could do, and this is no shade at all, but like a Tessa Bailey book or a Megan Quinn book compared to this, complete different ends of the spectrum.
yeah. And I think that's one of those where if I was ever going to recommend this to someone, it would be like, can you not handle it like, you know, this is so highbrow, like only the most intellectual people can read this book. Not at all, but it definitely is something that you're going to have to, it's a nice stroll by a very turbulent stream sometimes.
If you like the prose of Rachel Gillig,
Yeah.
you will like these prose.
There is nothing scarier in LA than going somewhere, needing to dress up, and not knowing how far you're going to walk and what your shoes are going to do to your poor feet. That is why I knew how to get dressed up, wear comfy shoes, and wear my VI Very Intelligent Dress Ramona by Vionic.
I am so in love with my Vionic Uptown sneakers. I got a second pair and put them in my car so that no matter the situation or how far away I park, I've got comfortable shoes to walk in.
Not only do they have really amazing sneakers like their Gabby sneakers, but their VI heels are a timeless classic pump that are also very comfortable, but it helps balance out that polished look. And you know what? Every single shoe they have is going to be the most comfortable shoe you've ever owned.
And that's because Vionic has exclusive VO motion technology that sets them apart. They began revolutionizing medical orthotics, and they've used that science to make shoes that help you feel comfortable and confident all day.
Buying these are going to be a breeze because their website makes the whole purchasing experience very easy, and you're going to love them, even though Vionic does offer a 30-day guarantee. Wear them, love them, or return them for a full refund within 30 days. However, good luck because they're about to become your new favorite shoes.
I love mine so much. I made my mother try on my Vionics while I was visiting her this weekend and said, "You must buy these."
I'm surprised you got to keep them. She didn't take them from you.
Luckily, my feet are smaller than hers. Use code BookTok at checkout for 15% off your entire order at VionicShoes.com when you log into your account. It's a one-time use only, so buy yourself those shoes, buy your mom those shoes, and use that code BookTalk, BookTalk. I've been clearing out my closet, and it just reminds me I need to shop more at Quince because I am tired of fast fashion.
Quince has your back because they are all about elevated, essential fashion that helps you build a wardrobe that feels timeless. With versatile silhouettes and thoughtful details, they're the kind of style that you will wear again and again. I know that because I see you wear it again and again.
I want what I wear to be effortless, but like in the best way.
Quince has wardrobe staples with quality that's made to last. 100% organic cotton sweaters, premium denim made with stretch for comfort all day. That's what I get because I can't handle tough denim.
I love their luxe cotton cashmere blends that are perfect for the changing seasons and my work wardrobe.
Quince works directly with safe, ethical factories and cuts out the middlemen so you don't have to pay for brand markups. They're all about high quality clothing.
Quince uses the highest quality materials like 100% European linen and organic cotton. Everything is built to hold up season after season so that you can wear them again and again. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too.
That's QUINCE.com/BookTalk, BookTalk, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BookTalk. Sleep is important to everyone, but I am bipolar, and sleep is one of the most important things that I can do to protect not just my mental health, but my physical health. I always strive to get around 8 hours of sleep a night. Honestly, I have to shoot from 8 to 10 hours a night. And it is so important for me to know that everything in my body is helping me get that balanced sleep that I really need.
For me, the big shift was realizing that sleep isn't just about hours. It's the foundation for everything: performance, mood, focus, recovery, even how you age.
The part that surprised me is that you can't fully understand your sleep without looking at your lab tests. If your sleep is off, your results will likely show it with elevated inflammation and shifts in glucose and cholesterol. And when sleep improves, that's going to show too.
That's what I appreciate about Function. It gives you real data so you know what's happening inside your body. Sleep isn't just a habit, it's biology. And if you want to look deeper to see whether you're improving it or troubleshooting how to improve it, you have to measure it.
I have my first appointment with Function to get my blood drawn for next week. What I did appreciate about it, though, is that they are making sure that it's coordinated around my period. They weren't just like, come here, give us blood. It was like, hey, let's make sure you get the best results possible.
Be like Jack and own your health. Start by understanding what's happening beneath the surface.
Function gives you access to 160 plus lab tests each year, including advanced markers for heart health, inflammation, stress, hormones, toxins, and more for $365 a year.
Learn more and join Function using our link. Visit www.functionhealth.com/booktalk or use gift code BookTalk25, that's BOOKTALK 25, for a $25 credit toward your membership.
I decided to start taking a GLP-1 because it was the final missing piece to my comprehensive wellness journey. Last year, my health was going to be my main priority. And for me, my wellness goals include energy, consistency, and long-term health. And Brella was able to bring a provider guidance that has made this process feel very supportive and legit.
What's so great about Brello is the focus is your long-term health. Your provider is committed to a sustainable approach to your wellness. Brello focuses on habits, education, and provides that structure for you to ensure that longevity along with provider oversight.
I've used other services before, and Brello is the only one that has their provider call me and actually talk to a real human being who is able to answer my questions. But beyond that, you also get access to an amazing private online community for support and accountability. Brello also has an easy-to-use app to track progress. It manages reminders and stays on top of renewals. Everything's managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and the medications are delivered to your door.
Brello has clear upfront pricing with one flat monthly cost. If you're approved for a GLP-1 plan, they start as low as $133 per month with a 3-month commitment.
Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
All patients must meet with a healthcare provider prior to any medication being prescribed or dispensed. Any medications ultimately dispensed to a patient will be done pursuant to a valid prescription from a healthcare provider. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved. FDA does not evaluate compounded products for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Compounded medications are not reviewed or verified by the FDA for safety, effectiveness, or quality and are not FDA approved. Not available in all 50 states. What I think is very masterful that Natasha does is the dialogue and the sentences and the exposition, I should say diction, so the word choice, often reflects the time period in which the person's story is written. So we have Sybil in part 1 is in the same time as the Queen Elizabeth in the 1600s. Then we have Esther in the Regency era. And then we have Rosamond in like the 1920s?
The 20s, yeah.
And you get those vibes as you read these.
Yeah, you definitely, I think that's all, like, that's the other thing is like you are totally getting, I love that you pulled it out, the diction, the meist, there was like meist during the maced, where it was like, we are masting back and forth here on this one.
You
like,
shall not.
Yeah. And having talked to Natasha, she's written historical romances. So she is very familiar with putting yourself into this setting. And what I loved / am fascinated with is that I feel like Natasha let the pacing of the story happen naturally with how much time is spent in each era.
Yeah. Well, and I also think the pacing of each part matches the era. So part 1 in the 1600s is much more methodical and slow and takes us through a lot more events compared to Rosie in the 1920s, where it's like bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden we're in the last week of her life.
I think what I mean when I meant pacing, I mean like she didn't tell herself, okay, it's 3 lives, therefore each one gets the same, like 33% of the book. So I meant like in the sense that like the first life, it spends a good amount of time there. The second life, like a little bit shorter, and the last life even shorter. And I respect her not saying like it has to be a certain way. Instead, it was just like, well, I need to let the story play out the way that it has to play out.
Right. She definitely doesn't waste time. Every moment that is conveyed with purpose. And everything ties back to something else or ties forward to something, which I love. Re-listening to the book, I didn't realize. I knew that the imagery of storms, the physicality of storms always accompanies interactions between Miriam and Sybil throughout all lives. I didn't notice that how much Miriam embodies the storm. When she's a bird, she caws like lightning. She makes storm sounds. Esther's favorite color is like storm gray. There's lots of turbulence that is hidden in the descriptions and in the action, which I thought was beautiful.
Yeah. You know, I will say it speaks volumes. Like normally when we talk about books, we kind of say, okay, character 1, let's get into them. Character 2, let's get into them. And right now we're talking about like the first thing we're addressing is just the writing, you know, and the quality of writing and the style and the diction and the word choice and, you know, everything around that. And I think that speaks to the level of or the type of book this is.
Yes, I completely agree. It has a level of sophistication.
Yeah.
Not that other romances or romantasies that we read are not sophisticated, but to me, this is, if I think about how I would define traditional sophistication, it is this book.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't romantasy. I think that's where it comes into, right? Like I would classify it as fantasy fiction. Actually, not even fantasy, like magical realism, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's technically considered speculative fiction set in a fantasy setting with magical elements.
What's the definition of speculative?
Okay. So speculative fiction, I'm quoting from the internet, is an umbrella genre for stories that depart from reality, exploring what-if scenarios with fantastical, futuristic, supernatural, or alternate world elements.
Yeah. I say that classifies it here. And because of that, I think it leans in more towards the fiction area. Like when I say fiction, I mean more of like the literature genre.
Literary fiction.
Yeah. So it's speculative literary fiction is the best way that I would then classify it, where you just can't compare it. You know, like it's just not romantasy. It's not going to be compared to everyone else, even though Natasha said that one of her ARC readers described Miriam as a shadow mommy.
Which I appreciated. She is a shadow mommy.
Yeah, that was really funny. But it really is one of those things where it's like, if I think this is a good way if you want to dabble into fiction or into literature and you want to dip your toe outside of romantasy, this is the right toe to step your way out of romantasy.
Yeah. One of the elements that I think makes it feel less romantasy and more a traditional fiction or literary fiction is the yearning. Honestly, not enough books do yearning well nowadays, in my opinion. And this idea of yearning because you're hungry for that person versus yearning because, oh shit, is this what it means to have feelings? Is a lovely, lovely progression and exploration as well. And I just appreciate that it's Sapphic. This is the kind of book that if our country wasn't so messed up, should be studied in high school. Like this would be a book I would recommend, written by someone who is not an old dead white man.
Yeah. Kind of reminded me, sorry, my brain has just decided to take a nice little vacation for the recording of this. So work with me here. I saw something online of Hudson, who plays Shane in Heated Rivalry, and he was doing an interview. And the interview, it was Andy something or other one who from Bravo, but he was like, a lot of people describe Heated Rivalry as graphic, like very graphic. And he was like, except it's not. The only reason why people are considering it, the sex scenes, to be graphic is because they're gay characters versus, he was like, there's no boobs, there's no nudity other than like butts.
Yeah.
And this is actually not even softcore. Like if you were to compare it to Game of Thrones, anything else, he's like, you don't see dicks here.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot, like there's a lot of like cut angles and shadows, but because it's gay, it's going to be considered graphic.
Yep. This has some sex scenes that are not terribly graphic.
No.
I think the likelihood of people feeling more uncomfortable reading these sex scenes than a Sarah J. Maas sex scene is high, even though Sarah J. Maas's sex scenes are significantly more graphic.
And Sarah J. Maas's isn't even graphic compared to the whole world. But yeah, I think
exactly.
Ultimately, people are really uncomfortable with Sapphic. And I'm happy that we're stepping into this side of the conversation because Natasha, she didn't fade to black, but she didn't go into detail. It was the type of love where it's a toxic lesbian relationship. So, that's always exciting because it's like, doesn't have to be like, love people. We're not all perfect. It has to be able to show the sides of humanities, even if one of them is a demon. You got to show the humanity there. But it is very nice to see a Sapphic book. I feel like that was done well because there's been many a Sapphic books I have read that I'm just like, God, I want to like you because I want to support Sapphic novels. But yeah, this is one that, God, you're right. I wish if the country was not this country, people should be reading this in high school.
Dare I say, I forget which episode you say it in, but it's better than Great Gatsby.
Everything. Fucking Great Gatsby. Yeah. Fucking Great Gatsby. I'm on a one-sided beef with Fitzgerald over here. The dead white man. But it also has Gatsby vibes. I mean, I know it's like more of the time frame of the 20s. So yes, it's going to have Gatsby vibes to it. It's literature that needs to be taken seriously. And people, when you add romantic elements to books, I think people start to not take literature that seriously. And then even though I was going to say the romance is a huge part of it. It's not like there's like plot light, but that's majority is the romance element. But because it's between two women, I wonder if that's part of the reason why people will be like, it's just a romance novel.
Probably, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad because Natasha has written a book that I know I will strive to write and never be able to do myself. Like, it's so beautiful, it's powerful, it's clever, and it has a message.
I think you'll do it in your way. I mean, I think you're not a Gothic writer. I think you need
That's
to
the problem is I want to be a Gothic writer.
We need to let loose of this. You're a Gothic soul, but you're not a Gothic writer.
I know. I know that.
Your little Gothic like superstar over there.
My little goth heart will never write Gothic literature, and it makes me sad.
Because like you're goth, but like a soft goth, like a squishy on the inside.
Yeah, I'm a Tootsie Pop goth.
You're a Tootsie Pop goth, yeah. And when you write, your Tootsie Pop comes out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Even Aelin would pause to catch her breath. We'll be right back.
I think what it ended up being is, a lot of times people write the books they want to read. And Natasha wrote a book that she wanted to read. I'm not saying that's like what she said specifically, but I think she said something along those lines. But, a Sapphic fictional magical element. And I hope that whether it's for Amy or anyone else who's writing specifically Sapphic, that this is inspiring. I hope that it doesn't, just because you're not a Gothic writer, I hope this still inspires you. Because I think it is. I think there's a lot of cleverness that can come into books,
Sapphic should be approached in every single, like anything. Love in general is approached in every single different way in genres. In a romantic sense, in a dark romance sense, in from friendship to lovers, enemies to lovers, right? Romance can be attacked anyway. And I think that we're at a point in time where the Sapphic romantic genre has not been like approached in every single way possible, which needs to be.
Right. I think we're seeing more of it. It's just not popular.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with time, we will see more in volume so that it is approached in all the different ways heterosexual romance has been approached in literature, in contemporary romance, in fantasy, etc.
Yeah. There was like one point where the first time Miriam goes down on Esther, I mean, like any of them is like on Esther. And like all of a sudden it just like cuts to where it was like all of us, like she was like, thank you for not killing my cousin. And then Miriam was eating her out like the Prince of Troy, Paris with his princess. And I was like, oh, okay. We could stay longer here.
Yeah, we can spend more time here.
Yeah.
I understand why it was less about the act of sex and more about the connection.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why it's not as laid out. I also could understand from a publishing point of view how it may be less palatable for some audiences if it was more detailed.
Not your book, babe. Not
my book.
It's going to be graphic as fuck.
Yeah.
So much so, guys, that I've read some of it and I was like, hey, different word choice?
Yeah. That's a lot of people said that.
So let's briefly talk on the characters before we read people's comments. But first, let me drink something.
Yeah, take a sip.
So let's start with Miriam because that's easier.
Yes. So for those of you who have not read the book, Miriam is called into being by some ancient men who are trying to summon a demon to do their will. And she eats their souls.
Yeah.
And then she takes what she thinks is a human form based on the memories of people around her to deal deals in order to eat people's souls. And that's what sustains her. I love that because she takes the shape of what she thinks a human is. She's not technically female, but she's an amalgamation of feminine and masculine. It's most obvious in the Regency era when she's wearing men's clothes.
Yeah.
But appears to be a woman is very tall, has the features of a woman, but also like the strong jaw and the eyebrows of a man and has the deep voice.
I thought she said to Esther, she was like, I appear like this to you, but I have it so that I look like a man to everyone else.
Yeah, it's true. But I meant for us as readers.
Okay.
She's on a spectrum of what it means to be a gender and to present as a gender. Yep. And there is at no point a need for her to conform.
Yeah.
I love that about her. And I think that she represents a certain population of the queer community in that way.
Very true. Yeah. Good call out. I did not call that out. I was busy being like, I love how she just eats men. And I just love the way that she's just like, oh, all right, another man died. Don't feel bad. Like men specifically.
Yeah.
So I appreciated her attitude towards some of the men and her own growth. I think her growth is so subtle. And you don't know that she's grown until her feelings are hurt in the last section.
Yeah.
That was the moment that because when you were describing it to me, you were like, and then they kind of switch spots and humanity and Miriam's more human and Rosamund at that point is like lost her humanity. And I was like, great. And then as it was happening, I'm like waiting for that humanity to come in. I'll see that humanity, Miriam, the moment that her feelings were hurt at Rosamund just kind of leading her on. I was like, oh, somebody caught a case of the humanity.
Yeah, it is very subtle. And I think if you went back and re-listened to it, you would see it, especially in part 2 with Esther and Miriam. Miriam's at this point been waiting centuries for Sibyl to be reincarnated.
Yep.
And she talks about seeing Esther and the pangs of her hunger taking a different shape. She feels hungry, but the hunger is no longer the hunger she knows. It is a different sort of hunger she doesn't recognize.
Yeah. And more than horny hunger. Love hunger.
Right. A longing, a pining.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, because Miriam doesn't understand humanity, it is very subtle as you see things from her perspective and how she changes.
Yeah.
For example, another, and I can't remember exactly the particulars right now because I read this back in October. One of the things that makes this poetic is how there are iterations of very similar types of events. So, for example, in part 1, Sibyl is killed by a witch hunter.
Yep.
Miriam gets really, really, really upset about that.
Yeah.
In part 2, Esther is killed by her cousin. And Miriam also gets mad about that, right? But the difference...
she's not killed by her cousin.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She's hunted by her cousin. Miriam kills her.
Right. That's right.
Miriam slits her throat. Yeah.
But in both instances, Sibyl and Esther goaded those individuals into killing her.
Yep.
And Miriam's emotions, while she's angry both times, the anger is different. And so it's a lot of layering. It's a lot of subtlety. I think it's so clever. And I appreciate little touches too. And I realize I've gotten away from talking about the character.
No, I have 2 thoughts. One is the people talking about on Goodreads, and I'm gonna mention what I saw on Goodreads because it's linking up here. And again, my brain is on vacation. I'm counting down the moments I can go take a nap before we have to do a phone call. But I saw one of the Goodreads comments saying that it was too repetitive, but it was meant to be repetitive. It's history repeating itself. That's part of the themes, right? History repeating itself. The way that Esther died running away from a type of witch hunter, her cousin, right? I mean, and every single time she comes back to life, she's having to face the same issues again, right? It's the not feeling close to anyone. Like, she didn't have anyone to feel close to. She did it to herself. And then the realization that she has always been the one to push people away. Like, there was no curse. The curse didn't exist. She's the one who pushed people away. So then what happens in the third iteration of her that understands this? She pushes people away more. So it is like one of those, history repeating itself. Like, that is one of the themes. So, when people on Goodreads are like, it's a bit repetitive, I'm like, well, that was kind of the point.
That was the point. When the family crest is a 3-headed bird or something, and she literally says past, present, future, it's spelled out for you. That's the motif.
I know. It's just going to be, it's just going to continue.
Sibyl has a horse she calls Chomers, and Esther has a toy horse she calls Chomers. And these things repeat themselves intentionally because whether she realizes or not, she's carrying her past into her present every time.
Is Chomers French? Whatever what it means.
I think so.
How hilarious would it be if it meant caviar, which is, I think, a French word anyway, but I was just thinking about the dog.
Is that the right? Servant of the chambers.
I feel like that's so specific that there's no way Natasha didn't think that through.
Yeah. I'll have to think about that.
You can analyze that any way you want. We could also email her. I think she'd be receptive.
Why did you name him Chomers? Anyway.
You could be like, hey, we were doing a reread and we're actually like talking about it again on the podcast because we loved it so much. Was there meaning as to why you named it Chomers? Or you just sort of like, that sounds cool?
Anything else to say about Miriam?
No. I'm ready to say things about Esther, Sibyl, and Rosie.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
If there's one truth about this podcast, it's the fact that I will always have Liquid IV in my hand, which it currently is.
It is Liquid IV in your hand. Liquid IV helps replenish electrolytes and essential vitamins. And let me tell you, after being awake for nearly 24 hours yesterday, what did I drink when I got home last night? It was Liquid IV.
Liquid IV has all the B's for you. That's essential vitamin Bs, B3, B5, B6, B12. And if you think that's not enough, it's also an excellent form of vitamin C. It's what makes this the go-to hydration.
Liquid IV is the only sugar-free hydration product on the market clinically demonstrated to hydrate faster than water alone.
All you need is 1 stick of Liquid IV, 16 ounces of water, and you are on your way to hydrating more than water alone. I have to say, every single one of my purses has a Liquid IV stick.
Powered by Liquid IV Hydroscience an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Liquid IV is even backed by a scientific advisory board with real experts and real science.
I'm not saying I'm a scientist, but I am telling you, I got really drunk and drank a bunch of Liquid IV, went to bed, and I felt fine the next day.
With 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes, and 8 essential vitamins for sugar-free hydration, you just can't say no. Let me tell you, I just got their white peach flavor and I am in love.
Rehydrate with science-backed hydration from Liquid IV's Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free.
Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with the code BookTok at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order with code BookTalk at liquidiv.com. BookTalk. One of my confessions is that in my 20s, I got docked with overdraft fees all of the time.
The pain of my 20s and overdraft fees.
If we had Chime, everything would have been different.
That's because Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people like you and me with products like MyPay.
It's not like old school banks that charge you for overdraft fees or monthly fees. It's built for you, the person, not the 1%.
They even give you access for up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. And some of those old banks still don't do this.
I didn't even know it was an option until the Chime.
Chime helps you build your credit history stress-free because you're using your cash to build that credit.
Earn up to 3% APY on savings. Also, you guys don't understand how great that is because it is 7 times higher than traditional banks. Chime is not just smarter banking. It is the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who already bank fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
I like that they're all their own people and they're all the same one. And I like that at the very end, Rosie is just kind of dealing with both variations of her in the past. And like Esther's kind of the more panicky one. And then Sybil's like, bitch, shut up. Let's just make the plunge. Like, let's do it. And I just want to be like, hey, Miriam killed her. Okay. Like, let's all give Esther a little break. But I just like loved the conversation that they would have amongst themselves. And it just kind of like, it had to be a very distinctive choice to say, are these different souls literally different souls? Slash, they're all intertwined, or are we just going to graze over it? And I respect a writer that's like, I'm going to make a distinctive choice, even if it might make it harder for me at one point or another.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because from a writing perspective, Miriam has to stay interested. And she's interested because she knows that the human who is reincarnated is going to have another soul. So now double the power, double the soul, double the satisfaction for Miriam who eats souls.
Yeah.
I can only imagine being like, well, how am I going to deal with this? What does that mean? Because it's not like they were twins and one ate them in the womb, right? One lived a life and then gets put in another person's body.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And I appreciate that she tries to explain it.
Yeah. Yeah, she tries to explain it. It's going to be a series. I don't know if do you know if it's a duology or trilogy or what?
No, I
but
think
we
it's
know
a
there's
standalone.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It didn't end like a standalone.
Oh, to me it did.
This can't be a standalone.
To me, it read like a standalone. And I know it leaves off as if there could be a future, but I think to me that's more about the imagination. That's kind of what speculative fiction is about. We've now turned the tables, and it's just kind of, I think it's a poetic end. I don't think it's an end that's meant to be followed up.
I disagree. I heavily disagree. I absolutely have never disagreed with you on anything more than at this very moment. No.
I'm sure.
I reject everything.
You can email Natasha and find out.
Yeah, I'm going to send her a DM right now.
I'm sure well, I thought if she does a follow-up, it would be Isaac, the brother, Esther's brother.
No, their whole story isn't done. Like, there's just so much.
No,
No.
I think
Fuck you, Amy. No.
this is exactly the kind of book I would write because it's about where your imagination takes you, knowing that this is the end of Sybil's story, but the start of Miriam's.
Okay, cool. Then start again with Miriam. Like,
It's not necessary.
no.
I think you risk losing the poetry by writing a sequel.
No.
I'm sure Natasha could do it. She's very talented. I don't think it's necessary.
How is that not the one thing we asked about in the interview?
I know.
All right, I'm sending her a DM. Hopefully she sees it. If this is a standalone, I don't read it, guys. Don't. No.
No, it's so good. You're so mad.
Yeah. This episode is done. No, I don't know what to do with that. I'll eventually get on board with it. Okay, here's the thing. I do believe their love was too toxic to find a good happy ending between the two of them.
Right.
I don't want the second book because, damn it, there will be. I don't want there to be a second book where they find their own happily ever after because I don't think that could ever happen. I thought the next book would be Miriam's journey and her trying to strike a bargain. Oh, because we don't know what the bargain is. So she's like, do you want to do a bargain? That's what Rosie says to Miriam. And then I can't look at you right now, but go ahead.
But that's...
I get what you're saying. It's poetic. I wasn't ready for poetry. Give me a beat, okay? I'll come back to it.
Well, while you process, so someone might read this book and say it ends in a cliffhanger. I think what I love about this ending is that you expect Rosie to fuck Miriam over by switching their situations and saying, peace out. Now I get to finally live the life that you denied me. Right? That's what Rosie's saying to Miriam. And Miriam is overwhelmed by the humanity that she's just absorbed, essentially. It feels like Calcifer returning to Howl in Howl's Moving Castle after he's freed, for Rosie to come back and just be like, I don't know how to exist without you. Let's strike a deal, essentially. I'm going to make you an offer so that you and I can remain in this cat and mouse situation. Which perpetuates the toxicity, but is also beautiful because these two are meant to be together, no matter how toxic they are.
This is never going to be in Fairy Loot.
We make our own.
It's too sad. We're going to learn how to make books now.
I'll find someone who will bind it for me.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God. Oh, wait, there's a special edition. Oh.
Is it pretty?
Yeah, look at the cover.
I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see it. What do you see?
Go to Natasha's profile. Her Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Where did you go?
I just Googled it.
Okay, Grandpa.
You are just bitter.
Yeah, because I can't take it out on Natasha yet.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so Natasha's going to be in Canterbury on the 21st. Do you want to go to England? Go have a talk with her?
21st of January?
Yeah. Just want to go pop by?
Ugh, it's so pretty.
Isn't it? I didn't realize how small the book was until I saw it in person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, did you see the inside has a nice pretty A?
Mm-hmm.
For Amy. Our little Sapphic Amy. That is a really nice cover.
It's so pretty.
It's giving Sailor Moon.
It is.
I need so much more information on this. And like, Natasha doesn't check her Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. More reason why this book is not romantasy. This is not a happily ever after. No one's happy. No one's happy, but it's great. It's great within its own right. No, I get it. It's poetic. It's beautiful. I agree.
You're so mad about it.
Yeah. Everything that you're saying, I agree with. I'm not emotionally ready to be there. Like, it is one of those like types of fucked up and tragic endings that you're just sort of like, what the hell? Like, that's how it ends off, but it's also poetic and incredible. I get it. I was already coming up with what would happen with the second book.
See, in my mind, this is the kind of ending you would write and you would laugh at everybody who's upset about it. And, you know, that energy is being directed at you now.
I didn't want that. Not at me. Okay, shall we read some good reads?
Yes.
Alrighty. The good news is, I mean, it's rated a 4.04. I think it could be rated a 5 or a 4.5 or something, much high, like on average. It has 1,300 ratings and 637 reviews. We can do better, guys. I'm going to just go straight to the bad reviews. I want to see what they're saying.
I'm trying to find a good positive one to read.
Are there bad positive ones?
No, I just like one where it's like a lot of them are
Okay.
just summarizing.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
So this is a 1-star. For a book that claims it has a cat and mouse game with a Faustian bargain, I would have expected more tension, stakes, and plot. Instead, the bargain didn't happen until about 40% in the book, and the cat and mouse aspect has yet to happen at 60%, where I inevitably DNF'd. As far as the story goes, the characters kind of suck. Sibyl is a bland and pessimistic FMC that leaves no room for character growth. She's jaded, complains a lot, and isn't pleasant in her head. All right, well, that's sexism if I've ever heard of it. Internalized misogyny. That you can't have like a female character. Anyway, Miriam isn't terrible, but she's bland. How is she bland? Okay, there is nothing unique about her character, and she feels more like a vessel for the plot instead of a fleshed out character. Her attraction to Sibyl's soul makes no sense because we aren't told what makes Sibyl's soul so unique to others.
Yes, we are. Okay.
It's more powerful. There are no positive male characters.
Is this a man?
Literally, no. Feels like it's written by a man. They're all literally terrible, and it makes it so boring and predictable. Her brother wasn't terrible.
No, Isaac was lovely.
And then her best friend at the end was lovely. If I had $1 every time the author mentions the eldest daughter is cursed narrative, I'd have enough to pay my bills for this month. But that's the plot.
Okay, this person did not get the point.
Yeah.
Like, and none of the characters are supposed to be likable. I happen to like all of them, but they're not supposed to be. None of them are like necessarily good people.
No.
They're just people.
I wish I could see all the other comments this person's left because I just want to hunt them down and be like, are you a man? Because you read like one. Oh,
Yeah.
What an insult.
You
What
read
an
like a man.
insult. You read like a man. Okay, someone says toxic lesbian relationships are fun when they're not boring and aggravating as this. I mean, like, you just give more context. I don't find it. Again, it's the subtlety and the poetry.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that they didn't have any chemistry. And I think it's more of the fact that it dealt with the love and hate aspect of it.
Right. It's not chemistry when it starts out as obsession on Miriam's part.
Yeah.
Right? She's literally just looking for a meal. And Sibyl is not necessarily attracted to Miriam. She's attracted to the danger because she's been so sheltered her entire life.
Yes.
So it's not about each other. It's about what each other brings or offers the other person.
Yeah.
So this person wrote a 4-star.
Okay.
Witches, dark magic, and a very lusty, toxic relationship. What could go wrong? I noticed that this book was compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I'm not sure that is fitting. This story has no likable characters, in my opinion. Normally, I'm not a big fan of stories with not even one likable character, but this story was the exception. This adventure that spanned many years was exciting and intriguing. It had me hooked, wanting to know how it would end.
Again, I feel like people are forgetting the brother and the friend.
Yeah.
I found them very likable, unless they're just mean as individuals and they don't find them likable. Okay, here's another 1 star. I had high hopes for this one, but unfortunately, it felt quite flat. I did not really like the vibes and dynamic between Sybil and Miriam. I feel like they had zero chemistry with hardly any tension between them. They are super toxic and their relationship was too transactional and conditional on the bargain. I mean, this is based off the Faustian bargain.
Right.
I think that's the other one is I don't think people know the Faustian bargain and the story of that and the fact that like this is kind of playing off of that. And
Right. It's not a happy ending, guys.
no. Which is why you're right. And that this is a standalone. God, if I can just I want you to know that if you were in front of me,
You'd smack me.
end game. Like end just the end. Because you're right. It's meant to be almost a retelling in a way of the Faustian bargain. And it doesn't have a happy ending.
Right.
Oh.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with Faust or the story of Faust and what the bargain is, essentially it's a story about an individual, obviously a man in this case, who makes a deal with the devil, but the deal is created such that the human can never win, essentially.
Yeah.
And they have to sacrifice something inherently good for power, prestige, money, etc., which ultimately destroys them. So it's a vehicle to discuss morality. It's a vehicle to explore humanity and what does or doesn't make us human.
Yep. And people get uncomfortable when women become human.
Yeah.
And that we explore that within women. You know what Natasha would absolutely kill and doing a Sapphic rendition, because she told us that like the Faustian bargain in that story is very like queer coded as well. Another super queer coded one, The Picture of Dorian Gray. And I feel like she would kill with a Sapphic version of that. Or maybe you can do it, Amy, and you can take your hand at not until you're done with this one. But
no. And the 3 others that come after it.
Yeah, but then I think that would be a good like take a stab at your little Gothic heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
But or I pitch it to Natasha and she does it before you, whichever one.
She would do better and faster. Might as well have her do it.
I'll let her know that she can take that one. My request has been put in.
Unless she wants to do like Miriam's story and it's a retelling of Dorian Gray.
You're so lucky that you're not next to me.
So that you could hit me.
Yeah. The violence that I would ensue, because that would be fucking great. And it could still be a sad ending too.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is perfect. All right, I am so on board. Like I'm accepting that this is meant to be a tragic ending and no one wins.
What I like about it is that it sets it up in a way that it could be an endless cycle if it wanted to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In my mind, I thought the next one was going to start off now.
Oh, interesting.
You know, and it's actually Trump is the demon. No, he's too dumb. Okay, so we've all been rocked here today. At least I have. And hopefully Natasha reads her DMs because she didn't read her other DM. But, you know,
it's okay.
She warned us. She warned us.
She warned us
on Instagram.
Yeah.
We can. Do we have her email? We can send her an email.
I'm trying to remember if we have. I think we only have her
PR
agent, her PR person. I'll double check.
Yeah. Nicole's home, and I can hear her telling Minnie how much she misses her.
Oh,
because she's been gone since Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. And on that note, we are done. Thank you for listening to this episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Stick around for a special episode this Thursday. Next week, we'll be discussing Heartless Hunters by Kristen Ciccarelli.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini episode or in a Patreon exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle BookTalk for Book Talk. And don't forget to join us by subscribing to the subtextsocietyjournal.substack.com to get more insights into the romantasy and romance world. Bye.
I've been clearing out my closet, and it just reminds me I need to shop more at Quince because I am tired of fast fashion.
Quince has your back because they are all about elevated, essential fashion that helps you build a wardrobe that feels timeless. With versatile silhouettes and thoughtful details, they're the kind of style that you will wear again and again. I know that because I see you wear it again and again.
I want what I wear to be effortless, but like in the best way.
Quince has wardrobe staples with quality that's made to last. 100% organic cotton sweaters, premium denim made with stretch for comfort all day. That's what I get because I can't handle tough denim.
I love their luxe cotton cashmere blends that are perfect for the changing seasons and my work wardrobe.
Quince works directly with safe, ethical factories and cuts out the middlemen so you don't have to pay for brand markups. They're all about high quality clothing.
Quince uses the highest quality materials like 100% European linen and organic cotton. Everything is built to hold up season after season so that you can wear them again and again. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too.
That's QUINCE.com/BookTalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BookTalk. I decided to start taking a GLP-1 because it was the final missing piece to my comprehensive wellness journey. Last year, my health was going to be my main priority. And for me, my wellness goals include energy, consistency, and long-term health. And Brello was able to bring a provider guidance that has made this process feel very supportive and legit.
What's so great about Brello is the focus is your long-term health. Your provider is committed to a sustainable approach to your wellness. Brello focuses on habits, education, and provides that structure for you to ensure that longevity along with provider oversight.
I've used other services before, and Brello is the only one that has their provider call me and actually talk to a real human being who is able to answer my questions. But beyond that, you also get access to an amazing private online community for support and accountability. Brello also has an easy-to-use app to track progress. It manages reminders and stays on top of renewals. Everything's managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and the medications are delivered to your door.
Brello has clear upfront pricing with one flat monthly cost. If you're approved for a GLP-1 plan, they start as low as $133 per month with a 3-month commitment.
Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
All patients must meet with a healthcare provider prior to any medication being prescribed or dispensed. Any medications ultimately dispensed to a patient will be done pursuant to a valid prescription from a healthcare provider. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved. FDA does not evaluate compounded products for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Compounded medications are not reviewed or verified by the FDA for safety, effectiveness, or quality and are not FDA approved. Not available in all 50 states.
One of my confessions is that in my 20s, I got docked with overdraft fees all of the time.
The pain of my 20s and overdraft fees.
If we had Chime, everything would have been different.
That's because Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people like you and me with products like MyPay.
It's not like old school banks that charge you for overdraft fees or monthly fees. It's built for you, the person, not the 1%.
They even give you access for up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. And some of those old banks still don't do this.
I didn't even know it was an option until the Chime.
Chime helps you build your credit history stress-free because you're using your cash to build that credit.
Earn up to 3% APY on savings. Also, you guys don't understand how great that is because it is 7 times higher than traditional banks. Chime is not just smarter banking. It is the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who already bank fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/feesinfo. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.